It's New York Fashion Week, where designers' latest collections are on full display for the industry, the press, and the public. But with global concerns over the environmental impact and cheap labor involved in clothing production, there's a growing movement by some in the industry away from fast fashion. I recently spoke with Dana Thomas, author of Fashionopolis, The Price of Fast Fashion and the Future of Clothes.
Fast fashion is trendy clothes made in vast amounts at lightning speed, sold at rock bottom prices in thousands of stores worldwide. They knock off the top fashion designers and give you cheap versions of it, but they specialize in volume. Their business model is about economies of scale. And because of it, we're awash in clothes.
And what kind of stores are we talking about?
Like Zara and H&M and Topshop and Mango and Forever 21, which is teetering on bankruptcy. So it's kind of proving that this model may not be the best business model.
And how quickly are they cycling through an inventory or a fashion? How quickly does it go from the shop that's making it to the store shelf?
Within weeks, a couple weeks. I think Zara has it down to 2 weeks now, which brings customers into the store more and more often. At one point, Zara, and they spend more. You know, the average store maybe gets you in there 4 or 5 times a year, and Zara will get you in there 24 times a year because you want to keep seeing what the new thing is.
So if it's only 2 weeks between the time that it's made to the time that it's stored, that means somebody's working some serious overtime hours to try to get that fashion ready.
Absolutely, and often they're not paid for that overtime. And what's more, they're paid barely a living wage. If something costs $19.99, rule of thumb is it probably was the person who made it was paid 19 cents. And that happens in places like Bangladesh and the Philippines and Vietnam, but it also happens in downtown Los Angeles. We have sweatshops here in America that are filled with workers who are undocumented immigrants, and they're run by, overlords, and they aren't paid for their overtime, and sometimes they aren't even paid for their real work.
What has spurned this most recent wave of kind of capitalizing on these kind of market forces and finding cheap labor overseas?
Well, it's all started with NAFTA, really. I mean, it's been going on forever. We've been offshoring and looking for the cheapest price to make clothes since the Industrial Revolution began in Manchester 250 years ago. That's the business model as it was founded by Richard Arkwright, right then and there when we kicked off the Industrial Revolution in Cottonopolis. That's where I got the name, the title of the book. Yeah. And it's always been that way. Oliver Twist, Dickens, talked about it then, and Frederick Engels wrote about it in the working class. And we had the Tazreen fire 100 years ago, or the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire 100 years ago, and we had Tazreen, 5 or 6 years ago. So these things still go on. This is how it's always been. The garment industry is something that moves around to finding the cheapest labor. Right now, the hottest market is Ethiopia, where workers are paid $24 a month to make your clothes.
Now, is that a living wage in Ethiopia?
No, it is not.
No. So this is a job, but not necessarily a job that's going to help them have a sustainable life in any way.
A lot of people argue that these jobs are pulling people out of poverty, and what they're doing is really pulling people from extreme poverty, but still in poverty. It's just half a step up. It's still a pretty miserable life, and they feel trapped in these jobs. Often they're advanced money, or they can't get out because they can't get another job, and they're not making ends meet, so they have to work 3 or 4. They're working themselves to the bone. And the people who own these companies are among the richest people in the world. The owner of Zara was at one point number 2 after Bill Gates with a wealth of $68 billion. So, it's kind of a capitalism run amok business model where a very elite get very, very rich on the backs and the fingers of the very, very poor.
So, when you look at the kind of fashion industry going forward, who are the disruptors? What are they trying to do to prevent some of this?
Well, there's some very cool disruptors. Some are in Silicon Valley, some are here in New York City. One is called Modern Meadow, and they're growing leather-like material in labs. They're coating the DNA, and it's called biofabricated material, but it looks and feels, in its science, if you look at it through a microscope, it is leather. But you can't call it leather if it doesn't come from an animal. And that could, really replace industrial farming, which is horribly polluting on many levels. And it also is a cleaner way of making, and a more humanitarian way for somebody like Stella McCartney, who doesn't want to kill animals for her and use animal products for her line. Here's an alternative, so she can make leather shoes where without animals being involved. There's another one out in San Francisco in Silicon Valley called Bolt Threads, and they are creating silk similar to spiders, but also it's called spider silk. They're using the same principle, and they're doing it in a lab, and they too are growing it in vats of yeast and sugar, and it's silk like silk. And Stella actually has also been working with them, and the first garment made of it was a Stella McCartney dress that was in an exhibit at the Modern Museum of Art about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So these are very cool ideas. Another one that I like very much is called Evernew, and it's a company in Seattle that takes cotton and reduces it back down to its molecular level and then regenerates it into new cotton yarn, so it can be used again and again and again.
Yeah.
That's the core of the circular economy, which is what Cradle to Cradle talks about, what and Ellen MacArthur in the Ellen MacArthur Foundation in England is pushing, where everything is always being used again, that it isn't a linear birth, use, death of a product, but that it keeps going back around and around. And we can do it now with polyester. There's a company in England that's doing that called Worn Again and regenerating the polyester. So in theory, we can have cleaner polyester because we don't have to keep pumping oil out of the ground to make a shirt.
So that might deal with some of the materials. What about the labor question? I mean, are all of these incredibly low-paying jobs going to be automated away?
They're not going to be, yes, they're going to be automated away, but they're going to be creating better jobs with better pay, more skilled jobs. I saw a great company called Genealogia that distresses jeans with lasers in boxes with vacuums, so the dust isn't being inhaled and the indigo isn't being inhaled, or it isn't staining your fingers, and it isn't blowing around the room, and people aren't sanding by hand anymore. And those jobs instead are in a clean room, run from a computer. It's a bit like a joystick.
Yeah.
Playing a computer game, and they're running the lasers down these jeans and then changing the jeans out. So it's a better, cleaner, safer job, and it's better paid.
Yeah. So what is something that a simple kind of end consumer can do to try to decrease their contribution to this industry in the way that it is now?
Well, I think shop less and burn through clothes less. The average garment is worn 7 times before it's thrown away. And in China, I heard it was 3 times. That's kind of crazy that we have this sort of careless, cavalier way of using clothes and wearing and burning through clothes. You know, we used to not have such big closets, and we would buy 1 thing, not 10 things. Maybe we need to go back to that. Keep things longer, swap, hand-me-downs, cherish our clothes again, and not just look at them as a fad that are coming and going. Because they're inexpensive, we go, oh, well, I can always get another one, or oh, I'll just toss it and get something new for Friday night. We have to change that mentality. We can do other things too, like instead of buying a new dress, go rent one, or buy on consignment, or put things on consignment. Keep things in circulation, but more importantly, just be more conscious and caring about our clothes.
All right, the book is called Fashionopolis. Dana Thomas, thanks so much.
My pleasure.